Hi, it's John, and it's time for the Toolbox talk. And if you recall, I'm in Spain at the moment visiting my dad, and in last week's I called it the emergency edition, which was a quickly written message because we didn't have anything to send when I'd got here on Tuesday. I'm going to revisit the same topic. So this is called John's Journey. I don't remember what episode it is, but John's Journey to Spain. And I wrote last week about how helpful it is to set your business up so that it can survive if you have a sudden enforced absence, or even not an enforced absence, a holiday. So this trip to Spain isn't entirely unexpected. My dad has had an aortic aneurysm. He was diagnosed about a year ago, so I've been on notice to come to Spain for his operation for about a year. I know aortic aneurysm is a big bubble in your aorta, and if it bursts, that's it, you're fucked. So he's been on notice to have his operation, and I've been on notice to come to support Dad and to help Mum while he's in hospital and give a bit of moral support and a bit of, heavy lifting support. But it was sudden. I was on holiday in Hobart with Michelle, having a lovely, relaxing time. Woke up on the last day, the very last day, to hear that, to loads of messages on my phone from my mum. I had a hangover, I was getting a cold, probably from a week of holidaying too much. To a million messages from my mum and all my children, Grandma can't get hold of you, Dad. And the message was, he's got his date for the hospital, it's tomorrow, he's going in tomorrow, get to Spain immediately, book your flights and get to Spain. So I had to go home, back to Byron, from Hobart. The poor dog was dying. I had to go and sort my dog out, to euthanize my dog, which was very distressing. Bury him in the garden, drive to Brisbane, fly to Spain, get a train from Madrid to Almeria, get to my parents' house, wake up in the morning after a 3-hour sleep, drive to Granada where my dad's in hospital, and see him. So it was a bit stressful. There was a bit on. I found myself, in a slightly unusual emotional position. I was grieving my dog, I was very sad about my dog dying, I was worried about my dad, I was tired and stressed from the long journey, my feet were swollen, I was grumpy. There was a bit going on. I was worried about missing Michelle, worried about not having sex for 2 weeks, and worried about my business. Would it hold up being away for 2 weeks like this all of a sudden after a week of holiday? I was worried about letting people down. I was worried about not delivering the service that my customers have paid me for. Didn't want to lose momentum. It's been going quite well lately. I was a bit nervous about dropping momentum, and I don't want to fuck it up, I don't want to fail. I don't want to not be good enough. And that's really what I want to go to this time, because I hear that from a lot of my customers, that emotion, that sort of fear of not being good enough. We're trying really hard, we're doing the best we can. And for most of us, there's a kind of, I won't say a constant fear, but there's always that concern that perhaps we're not doing it right, we're not doing it well enough, we're not good enough, and everyone else knows better than we do about what to do, and we're not measuring up. So that's what I want to talk to you about. I see it in my customers. I expect it's true for you. It's true for me. And it's something we need to think about, I found myself talking myself down. You are good enough. You've set it up so it can accommodate this stuff. Dad's going to be okay. It's only 2 weeks. We've rearranged everybody's meetings. Everyone's pretty cool anyway, they all understand, they're all decent people, they're not going to be shitty about this. All that kind of stuff. Reassuring myself, talking myself down from a little stressy moment, And that's something I do as a coach. I want to talk about 2 things briefly: managing your stress, doing this talking down, and setting yourself up so your business can cope. So I want to talk about the stress management. Stress management, it's important. If you dwell on things, if you ruminate on things and go over and over on them, or if you just put your head down and work hard, which is what a lot of people do, particularly a lot of tradies, you're not helping yourself. You need to manage the stress. You need to talk yourself down. It's good to share it with someone else, and that's part of my role as a coach, is to be that person you share things with. When you're frustrated, or when you're stressing, or when you're not sure what to do, perhaps if I'm your coach, I'm the person you can share those misgivings with. And talking to someone, putting them in context, putting them in a wider business context, understanding that everyone else feels like this, or everyone has that problem, or this is how that problem is commonly addressed. is very helpful. Not just knowing what to do, that's not the only thing coaching is, but managing your stress and managing your uncertainties. If it's not me, do it with somebody else. Have a business friend or a mentor. Get somebody, have somebody to talk to. And the other thing, I think, is the setting up your business. I find myself reassuring people a lot that you are good enough too as a coach. You know, that you've got this, that you can handle this, that there isn't some kind of conspiracy out there where all these other people who are in successful businesses are smarter and have got it more going on than you have or I have. You know, they're not. They're really not. You know, there aren't any secrets. We just need to keep going and get on with it, and you'll get there. You'll be okay, and you'll run a successful trade business. So you are good enough. That's point one. You know how to manage your stress now, point two. And of course, the way to set your business up so it has the best chance of operating without you is, as I've said a million times, to document systems and train your people in the systems. So you've got people, competent, trained, empowered people in place and systems for them to use so they know what to do, so they don't have to come to you when anything happens, when anything difficult happens. So systems, processes, and good people in place. Doesn't have to be you writing all these systems, right? Your good people will help you write the systems, will help you set things up. So if you do them one at once, just one at a time, every system you write and every training process you put in place and every delegation you make to somebody else makes your business and your job that much better and makes your business that much more able to operate when you've gone on holiday or you've gone to Spain to see your dad. So of course I can help you. I can help you build those systems and those machines. That's my job, isn't it, as a coach? To help you build a marketing machine, a sales machine, an operations machine, a back office machine, and to manage yourself and your team. Now there are a few ways you can engage with me. You can register and subscribe to these emails so you get them in your inbox every Tuesday. There's a link below. You can join the Facebook group, the Tradies Business Tool Shed, and you can participate and join in and ask questions. You can attend the Tools Down workshop, and the next one is in November in Melbourne, 10th and 11th of November, I think. And the last thing you can do, if you can't wait for any of those things, and you want to talk to me about whether coaching is the right thing for you to do right now, is book yourself a 10-minute chat. Perhaps do it when I'm back from Spain in about another week and a half. And we'll talk about whether coaching is something you should be doing now. I'm sorry this is such a long video. See you later.